Good evening. This is All India Radio and I am Valsa Williams with the news at 9. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump address over 1 lakh people at Namaste Trump event in Ahmedabad. Prime Minister describes Trump's visit as a new chapter in the historical relations between the two countries. President Trump says his country is working to crack down on terrorist groups in Pakistan. Government plans to construct 1,000 more urbanized clusters in rural areas, says Rural Development Minister Narendra Singh Tomar. China postpones annual session of its parliament, scheduled for next week in wake of COVID-19 outbreak. And in women's T20 cricket, India defeat Bangladesh by 18 runs at Perth in Australia. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today hailed US President Donald Trump's maiden visit to India as a new chapter in the historic Indo-US relations. The Prime Minister stated this while welcoming the US President at the Namaste Trump event held at the Sardar Patel Stadium in Ahmedabad, in Gujarat, after President Trump's arrival on the first leg of his two-day trip. Over 1 lakh people gathered at the stadium in Motera to witness the address of US President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the Namaste Trump event.
आज मोटेरा स्टेडियम में एक नया इतिहास बन रहा है। आज हम इतिहास को दोहराते हुए भी देख रहे हैं। 5 महीने पहले मैंने अपनी अमेरिका यात्रा की शुरुआत ह्यूस्टन में हुए हाउडी मोदी कार्यक्रम से की थी और आज मेरे दोस्त प्रेसिडेंट डोनाल्ड ट्रंप अपनी ऐतिहासिक भारत यात्रा का आरंभ अहमदाबाद में नमस्ते ट्रंप से कर रहे हैं।
The Prime Minister hailed the relationship between the two countries. He said India and the US is no longer just another partnership but a far greater and closer relationship. The Prime Minister emphasized the democratic traditions of the two nations as the basis for the strong relationship. He also referred to his close friendship with President Trump and the cooperation between the two countries in various fields. Mr. Modi said India and the US relations and cooperation will play an important role in deciding the course of the world in the 21st century. The Prime Minister also hailed President Trump's leadership in containing terrorism. Highlighting the strong ties between the two countries, the Prime Minister said the relationship between the two countries is getting stronger consistently.
आज जो देश भारत का लार्जेस्ट ट्रेडिंग पार्टनर है, भारत की सेनाएं जिस देश के साथ सबसे ज्यादा युद्ध अभ्यास कर रही है, जिस देश के साथ भारत की सबसे व्यापक रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट पार्टनरशिप है, तो वो देश है अमेरिका। आज चाहे डिफेंस हो, एनर्जी सेक्टर हो, हेल्थ हो, इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी हो, हर क्षेत्र में हमारी रिलेशनशिप का दायरा निरंतर बढ़ रहा है।
In his address, US President Donald Trump said India and the US are committed to defend their people from terrorism. They are resolved to significantly expand defense ties and are working on a fantastic trade deal. He said India and the US are committed to fight terrorists and their ideology, and hence his government is working to crack down on terror groups in Pakistan.
The United States and India are also firmly united in our ironclad resolve to defend our citizens from the threat of radical Islamic terrorism. Both of our countries have been hurt by the pain and turmoil of terrorism.
President Trump said both countries are working on a fantastic trade deal and observed that Prime Minister Modi is a tough negotiator. The US President talked about India's great tradition of embracing individual freedom, rule of law, dignity of every human being, and where people worship side by side in harmony.
A country that proudly embraces freedom, liberty, individual rights, the rule of law, and the dignity of every human being. Your nation has always been admired around the earth as the place where millions upon millions of Hindus and Muslims and Sikhs and Jains, Buddhists, Christians and Jews worship side by side in harmony. You have always stood strong as one great Indian nation.
The US President said his country will remain a loyal friend of India and called the Prime Minister an exceptional leader who works day and night for the country. Praising Prime Minister Modi, the US President said, Mr. Modi is a living proof of what an Indian can achieve with hard work. He referred to his humble background. The Prime Minister had a landslide win in the 2019 Lok Sabha polls. President Trump made an attempt to connect with the Indian people on a personal level during his speech. He quoted spiritual leader Swami Vivekanand and paid tributes to Indian icons including Mahatma Gandhi and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. President Trump's family, including wife Melania, daughter Ivanka, son-in-law Jared Kushner, and top brass of his administration were also present at the event. More from our correspondent.
Waving US and Indian flags and shouting slogans, thousands of people lined up alongside the 22-kilometer-long road show to welcome the US President. Large number of people, including students, reached Ahmedabad since early this morning to witness the colorful India road show with cultural performances. Artists from almost all states had performed during the roadshow. Separate stages for each state had created at regular distance on the route. Wearing traditional costumes, artists from different states performed on 30-odd stages and greeted the US President and First Lady when they passed through the route. Many people who failed to get the entry into the Motera Stadium had watched the Namaste Trump event on the large screen placed at various locations on the roadshow route. Yogesh Pandya, AR News, Ahmedabad.
President Trump and his family members visited the Taj Mahal at Agra in Uttar Pradesh this evening. They spent around 1 hour at the historic monument. President Trump wrote in the visitors' book of the Taj that the Taj Mahal inspires awe and it is a timeless testament to the rich and diverse beauty of Indian culture. President Trump and his family were received by Governor Anandiben Patel and Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath at the airport. President Donald Trump arrived in the national capital this evening for the final leg of his two-day visit to India. Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri received the visiting dignitary at the airport. President Trump will be accorded a ceremonial reception at Rashtrapati Bhavan tomorrow morning. He will lay a wreath at Mahatma Gandhi's Samadhi at Rajghat. President Trump will then hold restricted and delegation-level talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Hyderabad House. He is leading a high-level 12-member delegation, which includes Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, Energy Secretary Dan Brulett, Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney, and National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, visit our News on AIR app and follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. You can also visit our website www.newsonair.com. Union Minister for Rural Development Narendra Singh Tomar has said after evaluating the success rate of urban clusters scheme, the government is intending to move ahead to construct 1,000 more urbanized clusters in rural areas. Speaking at the 4th anniversary celebration function of Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Urban Mission in New Delhi today, Mr. Tomar said,
सब लोग मिलकर संकल्पबद्ध हों अपने गांव को अग्रणी गांव बनाने के लिए और जब सामूहिकता का यह भाव प्रबल हो जाएगा तो फिर सरकार के जितने भी विभाग हैं उनका सामूहिक संकल्प हो जाएगा कि हम अलग अलग योजनाएं नहीं चलाएंगे, हम सब मिलकर इस पूरे क्लस्टर को डेवलप करेंगे.
On the occasion, the minister launched GeoUrban, a mobile app to be used for geotagging for assets in the urban clusters. Our correspondent reports that this flagship scheme of the centre was launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the 21st of February in 2016. Delhi Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal has instructed the Delhi Police Commissioner to ensure that law and order is maintained in northeast Delhi in view of violence in the area. In a tweet, Mr. Baijal said the situation is being closely monitored. He urged everyone to exercise restraint for maintenance of peace and harmony. Earlier, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal had urged the Lieutenant Governor and Home Minister Amit Shah to restore law and order. According to Delhi Police, some incidents of violence and arson have been reported in areas of Northeast District, including Maujpur, Kardampuri, Chandbagh and Dayalpur. During the clashes, a Delhi Police head constable was killed. Section 144 has been imposed in the affected areas of the Northeast District. Union Minister of State for Home Kishan Reddy today strongly condemned the incident in which a head constable died in stone pelting in Delhi. Speaking to media in Hyderabad, the minister said the agitators who are demonstrating against CAA have been trying to create a law and order problem. He said it is highly condemnable as the incidents were instigated to defame India, especially when the US President is on an official visit. Supreme Court appointed interlocutors today filed their report in a sealed cover on the ongoing protests at Shaheen Bagh in Delhi against the Citizenship Amendment Act. Advocate Sadhna Ramachandran, who was appointed an interlocutor, along with senior advocate Sanjay Hegde, placed the report before a bench of Justices S.K. Kaul and K.M. Joseph of the Apex Court. The bench said it would peruse the report and the matter will be heard on Wednesday. It made it clear that the report of the interlocutors will not be shared with the petitioners and counsels representing the Centre and Delhi Police at this stage. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan today said the health of children and pregnant women continues to be the topmost priority of the government. Inaugurating a special community outreach program on intensified mission Indradhanush 2 through a video message in New Delhi, Dr. Harshvardhan said the aim of the government is to ensure that not even one child is deprived of a vaccine against vaccine-preventable diseases. He said India has the opportunity to achieve further reductions in deaths among children under 5 years of age and achieve the Sustainable Development Goal of ending preventable child deaths by 2030. The Union Health Minister today undertook a review of the ongoing novel coronavirus COVID-19 management across the country with the senior officials of his ministry in New Delhi. At present, the screening of passengers is being done in all 21 airports, 12 major and 65 non-major seaports and border crossings. He said over 4,48,000 passengers have been screened so far. Dr. Harshvardhan said in addition to screening of passengers from flights coming from China, Hong Kong, Thailand, Singapore, Japan and South Korea, it has been extended to flights coming from Vietnam, Nepal, Indonesia and Malaysia. China, in an unprecedented move, today postponed the annual session of the Parliament scheduled to begin in Beijing from the 5th of next month due to the COVID-19 outbreak. The move comes as the country grapples with the deadly virus that has claimed over 2,500 lives and infected more than 77,000 people. The Communist Party of China considers the session as a significant political event to adopt its national agenda, including the annual budget and formulating new laws. At the stock markets, key indices tumbled to post sharp losses on the first day of the week and the rupee slumped against the dollar. A report.
At the stock markets, the Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange tanked 807 points or nearly 2% to end at 40,363. The Nifty crashed 252 points to 11,829. At the Forex market, the rupee depreciated 34 paise to an over 3-month low of 71.98 against the dollar. Gold soared 953 rupees to 44,472 rupees per 10 grams in Delhi. V. Ravi Kumar, AIR News.
Indian defeated Bangladesh by 18 runs in a Group A match of the ICC Women's T20 World Cup played at Perth in Australia today. Chasing the victory target of 143 runs, Bangladesh could only make 124 runs for the loss of 8 wickets in 20 overs. Poonam Yadav scalped 3 wickets while Shikha Pandey and Arundhati Reddy took 2 wickets each. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump address over 1 lakh people at Namaste Trump event in Ahmedabad. Prime Minister describes Trump's visit as a new chapter in the historical relations between the two countries. President Trump says his country is working to crack down on terrorist groups in Pakistan. Government plans to construct 1,000 more urbanized clusters in rural areas, says Rural Development Minister Narendra Singh Tomar. China postpones annual session of its parliament scheduled for next week in wake of COVID-19 outbreak. And in women's T20 cricket, India defeat Bangladesh by 18 runs at Perth in Australia. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And that is all in the news at 9. Good night.